Alright, welcome to my tutorial. This is the ghost cube for people who have never solved it before. Which I know, you would be like, well, isn't that everybody? Well, I'm going to teach you like you've never solved it before. See, what happened was when I bought this cube, right, I couldn't figure it out on my own, so I watched many videos on YouTube, and all 6 of them, I believe. And the problem with every one of those videos is the person teaching you doesn't know how to teach for shit. They teach you as if you've solved it 100 times already and you just want to watch their hands. Like, they have no concept that you are there because you don't know what's going on. They'll just be like, oh yeah, you just flip this and you spin that and you just do this and you do the hokey pokey and it's solved. They don't tell you algorithms. They make moves. They don't even explain why they did it. They don't break down. They don't break down how to do it. Hell, there's one guy who purposely solves it wrong just so he can go back and show you how he fixed his mistake. Like, hey asshole, how about you just show us how to solve it right the first time? You dumb fucks. Okay, anyway, yeah, it made me very angry because I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to do it. I basically had to figure it out on my own. So, thanks tutorials on YouTube for not helping me one bit. Listen, I am not a master cuber. All those other people probably could cube way better than me, but they just can't teach. I made this video out of my own frustration, and my goal is to make it so dumb that most of you are going to be like, really? You have to dumb it down this much? Yes, I do. Because if you can't solve this cube by the time I'm done teaching you, then you'll never be able to solve it. That's how dumbed down this is going to be. But you know what? That's what you need. When you don't know what's going on, I wish there were people that would be like, hey, moron, look for this piece and put it there. Like, that's kind of what I want. Especially for a cube like this, because it's very confusing. It's considered one of the hardest cubes out there. It really isn't, but probably the hardest 3x3 out there. So, anyway, moving on. Let's see. So essentially, this is just a 3x3. Oh, I guess I should preface like everyone else. You probably should have know how to solve a 3x3 cube by now. Which isn't that a given? How many people you think just first time out decide they're going to buy a ghost cube? Come on. All right. But yeah, you should know how to solve a regular 3x3 because you're going to use a lot of the same beginner tactics that you use for this. Now, speaking of which, let me go grab my 3x3 so I can show you some examples. Hey, look at that. I should probably teach you that trick. How to make a cube just pop into existence. Anyway. All right, so moving on. The one thing you'll notice about this cube is that it has a lot of pieces that look the same. It could go in a lot of different places. Like, you got 2 triangles here, and then you got another triangle here, and you got 4 pieces that kind of look the same here, and you got 4 trapezoids. So it's very easy to put them in the wrong place. It'll look like it's in the right place, but then when you get to the top to solve it, the whole thing will be wrong. So I guess for starters, actually, it looks like a square, but the truth is, you're not going to have the same axis as these. Your axis is basically, this is your top, this is your middle, and this is your bottom. Now, to make things easy, how do you know which one's the top, which one's the bottom? Technically, you could solve it any way you want. In fact, there's even, if you really wanted a challenge, you could, make that your top, make that your middle, make this your bottom, but I don't recommend it. At least not for the beginner video. So, which one do we make the top, which one do we make the bottom? So, first thing you're looking for are these long tubes, right? So you got this long tube with this long column here, and you got another long tube with a long column here. If you look, a lot of these pieces that look similar what I'm going to show you is that a lot of them actually look just different enough to know where they are. So you got this guy with the long tube, but it's kind of off center, right? It looks a little off center, whereas this guy, it's a little more even. So we're going to use that guy as our beginner. So that'll be our bottom. This will be our middle. This will be our top. This will be our right face. This will be our left face. Back, you don't need to worry about back. And then this will be our front. All right, so let me scramble this bitch up. Okay, all scrambled. I could have done that thing that they always do where it's like, watch me scramble it in 4 times speed, but I think that's lame. Also, if you haven't gathered by now, I'm not a cuber. I do stand-up comedy. I just felt like this video needed to be made. So you'll notice that I might occasionally swear or say something that offends you. I really don't care as long as you learn how to solve the cube. Okay, so moving forward, right? So I'd already told you that what we're looking to do is start with that tube looking thing. So we got one that's off center, and then you got another tube over here. Yeah, that looks a little more on center, so we know that's going to be our bottom. So that's basically the equivalent of this guy right here, okay? So the next thing we're looking to do is make a cross. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Actually, I lied. I lied. This is not that guy. That's part of the cross. So we got to find the guy that matches with this guy. So actually, let's start. Okay, so actually, all right, so you got your top and your bottom, which I already showed you before. This is the top part of those tubes. So we look at the one, that looks even. We look at this one, and that kind of looks a little off center. So we know that's going to be on top. We know this is going to be on bottom. So we got to bring the tube to match that. So when you're doing the white cross, the easiest way I've found to do it is bring the piece that you're looking to pop into place into this middle row here. Okay? And then swing it up to the piece you're trying to match it to and see if it fits. Well, that doesn't fit. So then if it doesn't fit on one side, bring it over to the other side, swing it up, and usually that'll do the trick. So there you go. So we've got one down. Okay? Now I need to make the next part of the cross. We're going to start with the top. Now the top is tricky because it's a rectangle. The problem is you got 2 rectangles on this cube. You got this guy here and this guy here. And by looking at it, you can see they're different sizes, but that doesn't tell me which one goes here. So basically, it's a little bit of trial and error for this. All right, so if we look here, we go, well, that definitely doesn't go there. So I bring it down to the middle. I swing it over this way because maybe that's the way it goes. And I put it in. All right, that looks okay. But we don't know for sure. The one thing about this cube you have to remember is the pieces don't fit nicely. A lot of times when it's right, it still looks wrong. Like I know that's right, but that doesn't look right. If I was a beginner, I'd be like, well, that can't be right. Look at that huge gap. There's no way that's right. So then I go, well, maybe it's this one then. So I bring this guy down to the middle row, like I said, and I swing them up. Well, that's definitely not right. But maybe if I bring it to the other side and try, well, that sure as hell ain't right. So now I know that this one is right, even though it doesn't look very good. So now you got two of the cross done. Now comes the nice tricky part. We got to match 2 trapezoids to each side of this middle. The problem is there's 4 trapezoids on this thing, and they all basically look the same. Like right now, if you were a beginner and you looked at this, you'd say, well, that looks good to me. that looks good. You'd continue to solve the cube, and when you got to the top, nothing would work. And the reason is because there are subtle differences in each of these trapezoids that I'm going to show you, and that's going to be what saves you trouble down the road. So you got one trapezoid here, one trapezoid here, one trapezoid there. And is it just the 3? Maybe it's just 3. Yeah, I think it's just 3 actually. So, to save you trouble, what I'm going to tell you right off the bat is if you look, one of the 3 has a little divot in it right there. See that little divot? Where the other 2, they don't. The other 2 do not have divots. So I'm going to tell you right now, put it down on a piece of paper. The one with the divot will never go here. It'll always go on the top of the cube. So as long as you never try and put this one here, you'll be fine. Because the other 2 will pop into place the way they're supposed to. So now that I've told you that, we know this guy can't possibly go here. So that means that we got this trapezoid and this trapezoid. They must go in to these sides. But how do I know which one goes where? Well, luckily, there's only one way. If you put it in wrong at all, it will be very obvious as soon as you do it. Like if I try and put this guy over here, right? And I swing this up, it looks kind of good, but you see a gap, right? But if I bring this other guy over here and pop him up, well, that's definitely not right. So then maybe I go over here. Remember, always work from the middle when you're trying to pop these into here. It doesn't look too good either. Oh, you know why? Because that's got a divot. You broke your own rule, Dave. Where's your other trapezoid at then? Where are you? Oh, here he is. Okay. So let's bring this guy down. Well, that doesn't fit. So if it doesn't fit one way, bring it over to the other side, pop it up and see what happens. I don't know. That looks pretty good to me. That looks pretty good to me. But once again, how do I know? Well, let's test it. Let's try and bring this guy over here and just see what happens. So we bring this over here, pop that up. Yeah, it doesn't look as good. More of a gap, right? So this one definitely looks better to me. Also, I'm gonna just go ahead and disclaimer this. If you feel like I'm going too slow, luckily there's this thing on your video called the fast forward button. Okay, so our white cross is done. The main thing to remember is the trapezoids. As long as you take the trapezoid that has that little divot, then, and make sure that you don't use it for this bottom, then you'll be all right. Everything else, if you put it in wrong, you'll see that it doesn't look right. Even the trapezoids, like I said, even though like this one kind of looks good here, if you had reversed them and put this one over here, it would look way off. So you would know. So, that's my main goal in this video, is to keep you from using the pieces that look the same and putting them in the wrong spot. Because that's really what's going to mess you up. But so, alright, so now we got basically the white cross. The next thing we're trying to do is plug in these 4 corners, which would be here, 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 and here. Okay? This is where we also get into some tricks. Because I've got 4 triangles on this thing, right? 2 of them are going to go on the bottom and 2 of them are going to the top, but how do I know which ones go which? Well, some of these triangles you can see differences in them. Like, all right, there's one here that looks pretty good, like almost perfect, right? But then if we look at this guy, you can tell that the left side's a little longer, right? And if we look at that guy, he looks perfect. But then we find this guy, well, he's bigger and there's a divot. Divot's going to play a key role in my teaching style because it tells me what to use, what not to use. And then, all right, so yeah, so you got this. Where's the other triangle? I don't know. Yeah, there. All right, so this side is longer here. Where's your other? Oh, and where the hell are you? Oh, okay. No. Why? What's going on? 4. Okay. Is that it? Why? See, this is why this cube's so effing hard. Even I, who've solved it numerous times, get confused. That is how alike these triangles look. Like this guy and this guy, look identical, yet they're just a little off. Okay, but don't worry. I'm going to show you how to solve this so that even though these things look so familiar, there's no way you'll put the wrong one in the wrong spot. So back to our white cross, which is here. Okay. We know that two triangles go in here, but as I've just shown you, how the hell do you know which one goes where? So for starters, I'm going to tell you which one goes here. Remember how I said divots were a huge part of my strategy? Well, we got 4 triangles. 3 of them look identical to me with subtle differences. So let's find the one that we know is definitely different, and that's this guy here. We know he's different because he's got a little divot on top. So I'm just going to tell you right now that the guy with the divot, he's going in this left spot right here. He's going there. I'm just going to tell you that. Okay? Because I don't know how else to explain it. So, whenever we're popping in these corners, just like the 3x3, which you've obviously solved, we're just basically trying to find where it goes and pop it in. So like for instance, the blue and red goes in here. So what do? Okay, I don't even know how to solve a 3x3. And we pop it into place. That's basically what we're trying to do with this baby, okay? So we go back to our white cross. We know for a fact that that triangle with the divot goes here. So next thing you want to do is set it up the same way you would with the white cross. Put this on the bottom and put that piece with the divot right on top of where it's going. Okay, so it's already there. So that's nice. There's 2 strategies to get the piece from the top to the bottom. The first one, if you're lucky, is if you can just slide it in place and it fits, that makes life a lot easier. So in this case, hey, look at that. It fits. So whenever it fits, it's nice and easy. Because then all you have to do is put the bottom facing you, take the bottom 2 layers and you turn them away from wherever it is you're working. So I turn it away, and I bring the piece that I know works, and I bring these 2 guys back, and now it's in place. Okay, so that's the same, that's equivalent of doing this move. So I know this goes here, so I let this face me, move this away, bring this down, pop that in. Ideally, everyone will go like that, but sometimes it doesn't work that way, and then you'll have to do a different move, which I'll show you. So, all right, so I already told you that one goes there. So now the next question is, well, which one goes here? I use a lot of rhymes and little tricks to help me remember what goes where. So remember I said these 2 triangles here, if you look at them, this side here, clearly the left side is bigger. And if I look at this guy, it's not as clear, but the right side definitely feels a little bigger. So what I know from doing this numerous times is that the one with the right side a little bigger is the one that goes here. So the way I remember is this is your right side. The triangle with the right side that's bigger goes here. And even if you're not sure about this, look at this one. That's clearly the left side, so we know, according to my rhyme I just made, it's not even a rhyme. What am I talking about? If the left on here is bigger, then it can't go in the right, which we already said. So now I know that goes there. Okay? But he's inside of our white cross. So what do you do when that happens? Well, just like the 3x3, you just need to pop it out of place. So, make sure your white is facing down. Bring this guy up. Move him over 1. Bring everything back. And now your white cross is back in place. And so now we're going to take that triangle. I guess it was that one, right? No, it's that one. See? That's how confusing this is. All right, and we're going to bring that guy over the top of where he's got to go. So he's going in here, and now we bring it on to the top. Now, once again, if you're lucky, when you slide it in, it'll fit. And if that's the case, face the bottom towards you, move the bottom 2 away, pop that guy in, slide it back, and Voila. 2 done. Okay, so 2 pieces left. What the hell goes there? I mean, I'm looking at this thing. How do I even know? Well, you wouldn't know if you've never solved it. So I'm just going to tell you. What we're looking for are these things that are kind of, I can't even explain it. I got a F in geometry, so I wouldn't even know what shape it's called. Let's call them sort of wings. They kind of look like wings. It's these guys here, right? Sort of looks like a wing, sort of looks like a wing, sort of looks like a wing, sort of looks like a wing. So, which one of these wings goes in these spots here? Well, just like before, even though they look similar, every one of these has just something different about it to kind of tip off what goes where. So for starters, you'll notice that every one of these, if you follow the triangle, right? 3 out of the 4 of them, if you follow the triangle of the wing down, you'll notice that there's a divot, all right? Did I say divots are the key to solving this cube? And if I follow this wingy looky thing, the triangle, that's another divot, okay? If I follow this one, triangle, that's a divot. I already showed you that, but what we're looking for is the one wing where when you follow the triangle, there's no divot, and that's it. There's only one of them, just one, okay? Now I'm gonna tell you that that one with no divot is going right there. Now, it might feel a little bit like cheating, like I'm telling you that, although is it cheating if I tell you that the green and orange goes there? I mean, is that cheating? Or should I let you figure that out for yourself? I don't know. Like I said, this is the dumbed down version. This is for the person who's maybe tried it on their own and is so frustrated that it's either throw it into a wall or watch this video to figure it out. Anyway, so the one without any divots when you follow the triangle is the one I'm going to put right here. So using my same strategy, put this on the bottom, find the piece that I want to pop in there. Okay, now always try my first strategy, which is if I just bring it down, will it fit? No. So when that doesn't work, we can turn it this way and see if it fits this way. Yeah, okay, so it does fit. Okay, if the last one does this again, I'm gonna have to purposely mess it up so that I can show you guys how to do it. So using my strategy that I said before, you face the bottom towards you, you move the 2 bottom parts away from where you're working, pop this guy in, bring him back. So now we've got almost this white cross done. So I still got 3 wings left. Which one goes now? Which one is next? Well, now I'm gonna tell you, out of the 3 wings left, 2 of them are kind of smallish looking, like that guy there. Not that guy. This guy here and this guy here. They're kind of small. This guy here, he's small. So which one of these guys? I know I just said all 3 are small, but I realize these 2 are the small ones and this guy's a little bit bigger. But so basically the answer is, see how this is a nice long triangle? And then these other wings kind of have short triangles. We're looking for the other one that goes here that has a long triangle, okay, which is this guy. But the other way you can find out if you're not sure, like what does it mean by long triangle? Follow the triangles down, like I said before, to the divot. If you follow this triangle down to the divot, you see that it's a small divot. This wing, if I follow the triangle down, oh, that's a big divot. And this one, if I follow the triangle down, it's medium. It's just right, but not really, because that's not the one we want. We want the one with the smallest divot, but we also want the one that has the longest triangle. And so I know, and I'm telling you, that that's going to go there. So using the same strategy, bring it up above where it goes, bring it down to see if it fits. Mother effer, it fits. Normally that'd be great, except for I wanted to try and show you what to do when it doesn't fit. So hold, I'm going to fix that real quick. Okay, so now I've made it so it doesn't fit that way. because you're going to need to know how to do both. So, I know the guy with the long triangle and the little divot's going to go here. So first I see, if I slide it in, does it fit? No. Turn it this way, if I slide it in, does it fit? No. So now we're going to have to do what's called the big sexy. Which is basically, it's the same as whenever you have white on top, whenever you're doing these cubes, the big sexy is this move here. Okay? And no, I'm not going to be a douche like those other cubers and then not tell you how to do it. Like, so now just do that, what I just did, just do that. Just do that now. Just do it now. It's just this. Come on, how hard is it? Just do this. Just do it. Just come on, just do it. Just do it. There, see now. I'm an awesome cuber. I should teach a lot of videos. Okay. I'm a little salty because it was very frustrating not being able to get any help. I run into this with a lot of cubes. I've been working on the Master Morphics, the Ultra Morphics, and the other one, the bigger one. And I keep running into these things, these problems, and nobody online can tell me what the fuck to do. It's very irritating. Okay. Basically, the way to learn a cube by watching videos is you have to watch like 100 and pick and choose what parts work, which is stupid. And I just kicked my tripod. Anyway, so when it doesn't fit naturally, you're going to do the big sexy, which is this. It's R, it's U, it's R inverted, it's U inverted. And you just keep doing that until it pops into place. Okay? Are you kidding me? Okay. R inverted, U inverted. And there, now we've got the white cross. No, we've got the whole white bottom. So now what you want to do is you want to take the cube that you gotten this far and throw it in the garbage. Because it only gets harder from here. Just, be happy that you got this far and now just throw the thing into the garbage. And go do something else. Okay, no, you shouldn't do that. So now the next part, one of the most frustrating parts of this whole effing cube, is we have to basically put the middles where they go. Now obviously on a 3x3 it's very easy, you just match the colors. But on this little mother effer, it is not easy at all. In fact, this is where I ran into the most trouble, and this is where nobody online could tell me what to do. So naturally, if you've been working with square cubes before you got to this, it would make sense that these middle parts should go on the axis of where you turn the cube, right? That makes sense. Seems like it makes sense. The problem is, on this cube, that is not the case. In fact, only one of the 4 middles actually go on the axis that you turn. All the other 3 sit in these weird places that you wouldn't even know if it was right or wrong. I spent hours, because one of the things you got to do is we got to turn these to the right orientation. But I would turn it, bring it back to its axis, be like, that doesn't fit. Turn it again, bring it back to its axis, a different axis, a different axis. Why is nothing fitting? Let me check YouTube and see if anyone can tell me. Hi, my name's Super Bubba Lubba Lubba. There, see, that's the answer. So, it was basically trial and error for me to figure out what the hell was going on. Luckily, you guys have me, and I'm going to tell you what to do so you don't have to get as frustrated as I did. So we got 4 middles. No, not there. 4 middles. We have to figure out where they go and which way to turn them. I'm going to just tell you what goes where. Because, all right, for starters, you got 2 that look almost identical. You got this guy and this guy, right? One, how do I know which one goes where? And also, how do I know which way to turn it? Because when you kind of bring it around the cube, you'll find that in this middle section especially, pieces will look like they're in the right spot, even though they're not. That's why this middle part for me is the most frustrating. Really just this, but these four, anyway. So I'm going to tell you, using my patented divot system, how to know what goes where. So we start with these two like little square leg dudes here, right? Where's the camera? One of them's got a divot on the right, and one of them, if you turn it this way, has a divot on the left. So my little trick to remember what goes where is right is right and left is wrong. And by that I mean the one with the divot on the right, you want facing towards the side that's already solved. The right side. Not actually right. Right as in right and wrong, not right as in right and left. God, I can already see the comments coming in. Okay, so you find the one where when you look at it, the divot's on the right. There we go. That's the one. So I said right is right, which means the divot has to face the side that's solved. Well, we can see that it's not. So what we got to do is we got to turn these the right way. So line it up, right? So okay, so then once you line it up on axis, and then take the side that's solved, our white bottom essentially, put it to your left. Okay? Take the piece that you're going to be working with, place it on top. Now we know that this guy, the divot, needs to face that way. But how we get there is we turn this twice, okay? We take this, we turn this twice. This is very key. You mess this up, your whole cube is effed. Okay? Now, we know that we said that this got to be facing this way, except for now, this is your solved side, because we turned everything around. So you turn this until the divot is facing what will be the solved side, and then you bring this up twice. 1, 2. Now, unlike a lot of some of the cubes, like if you've ever done a mirror cube or something like that, or a lot of the cubes actually, when you do this move, you'll be able to see that it fits. As soon as you match it up with its axis, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's perfect. But on this cube, I would have no idea that that's right, because this is where it's going to sit. Look at that. That's bullshit right there. that's where it's going to wind up sitting. But how would I even know that? You know that because I just told you. That's it. So then we spin it back twice towards here, and we've got one of the middles solved. We have no way of knowing that, because even if I try and like run it around the cube, how would I know that that's in the right spot? Right? Okay, so then we go to the other one. So if we know that right is right, which means the divot facing towards the solved side, then that means the one that's left is wrong, which means we want the divot facing away from the solved side. So you do the same thing. You bring that piece up into an axis, take your solved white side, put it to your left, piece you're working on. Now we know that's wrong because we want the divot facing away from the solved side, so we move this twice, 1, 2, move this up twice, 1, 2, and then we put this divot away from the solved side, 1, 2. And then you bring your solved side back up. Once again, I would have no idea to know that that's right, but it is. Bring this back around, and now those are solved. Okay, so then we move on to the other two, which is this one here and this guy here. So, using my patented divot system, if we look at it on the face, you got one where the divot's up towards the left, and you got one where the divot's up towards the right. So we use my same strategy. Right is right, left is wrong. So this guy means that that little divot needs to be facing the solved side. So we bring this down, solved side on the right, turn this twice, move it so that divot is facing down, move this back up twice, and spin it around. All right, and we do that another time with this little guy. Now the divot is up here. Now left is wrong, so we want it facing away from the solved side, so actually it's already done. I guess I do need to explain this a little bit. So, all right, so this is what I was talking about when I said how frustrating it is. Our four corners are perfect, but look where they line up. This guy lines up right in the middle of here. This guy, he's way off to the side over here. This guy, he's on top of this thing here. And this guy's way over here. How would I know that any of that's right if I didn't know that that was right? If I didn't have somebody like me telling me that that's what was right, I'd have no way of knowing. That's why I was so frustrated with this cube. Okay, so now that those are done, which in my opinion was the hardest part of the cube, if you didn't have somebody telling you, like, imagine doing what I just did, trial and error, when you're trying to figure out if the piece is in the right spot. Like, how would you even know to think? Because you would be like, oh, that's not right, so I must have to turn it again. You wouldn't think like, oh, way over here, that's right. All right, anyway. Okay, so moving forward. Now what we need to do is essentially the equivalent of popping this into here, okay? So we got to look around the cube and we got to pop in pieces into these 4 spots. But now you're asking yourself, what the hell goes in there? I got all these crazy pieces. What one goes where? So once again, I'm going to tell you. The first 2 pieces you're going to look for are these little half trapezoidy looking things. This guy here and this guy here. Okay? Those for sure are going to go into your middle. The other 2 that go in the middle are these weird looking alien type rock looking things. Those 2 go in the middle. Okay? Now the trick I'm going to tell you, which is to save you a little time, is these alternate. So it's going to be a weird trapezoid thing, and then a weird alien rock thing, and then another weird trapezoid thing, and then another alien rock thing, whatever that is. So that'll help you when you're trying to figure out where to put things, because you know at least that they have to alternate. So you can't have this and then have another one that looks just like it right here or right here. So that'll help. So luckily for us, one of them's already done. Whew. So moving around now, let's find the other trapezoid, half trapezoid one, which is right here. Now, since we know this one's already done, because I can see that looks good, I know for a fact it can't go here and it can't go there. So there's only one place this thing can go, and that is right here. Okay? So, still don't know the orientation of this. So the way to figure that out is, if, let's say this wasn't even solved, if we had no idea where anything goes, the best way to do it is you bring it over the top of a centerpiece like you would with this, and then you just kind of bring it down and see, does it fit? Okay? So like that definitely is not right. So if it's not that side, and let's see, I'll bring it down that way, that doesn't look good. Let's see, what if I bring it over this centerpiece and bring it this way? Oh, that looks pretty good, but let's just make sure it doesn't go this way. Oh crap, that looks pretty good too. Well, now what? Well, if you're in a position where it is that close and you're not really sure, I would just say move on until you get another one solved and use the fact that they have to alternate to help you. But luckily for us, since I know that's right, I also know that this has to be the only spot it can go. So when I do that, it definitely looks pretty good. So now the trick to getting these into here is the same that you do on the 3x3. You should already know this one, but I'll show it to you again. You move the piece over the center of where it's going to go, so which we've done right here. So we know this is going to go into here, just like we know that this is going to pop into here. So the algorithm for that is you turn it away from the area you're working for. Then you bring this left inverted, U, left, U, front, U inverted, front inverted, and it pops into place. Write that algorithm down. I'll put it in the descriptions, but write it down because that's the one you're going to use that one the most in not only this cube, but so many cubes that you solve in your future cubing career. So, using that strategy, I want this to go here, so I turn it away from where I want it to go. And then I do left inverted, U, left, U, front, U inverted, front inverted, and now that baby's in place. So we got this guy in place and we got this guy in place, which only leaves these two weird rock looking alien things. I don't know. I call them alien rock things because I play a game called FTL and there's a rock ship and it kind of looks like that. Anyway, you didn't need to know that. But you should check it out. If you're into gaming, Faster Than Light, it's an app. It's on the computer, but it's also on your iPad. It's an awesome game. There. Now I'm going to get paid for this. So now the next question is, we know that these are going to go here, but which one goes where? So back to our testing. Whenever you don't know, bring it over a centerpiece and kind of slide it in and see if it matches. Well, that's definitely not right. If I bring it over on this center and bring it back this way, it doesn't look too good to me. So that can't be it. Let's go over to the other one that's open. If I bring this here, that doesn't look too good to me. Let's bring it over to the other center and bring it backwards. That still doesn't look too great to me. But I know for a fact that this has to be right because when I did that same test here, neither one of them looked good. This one at least sort of looks good. So I know that that's the right one right there. So we're going to go back and we're going to use our same algorithm. Turn it away from where you're working. Yo, left inverted, up, left, up, front, U inverted, and front. I'll tell you this, with this cube, it sticks a lot. So before you start any crazy algorithms on this thing, make sure you don't have like a cat or something that's going to jump on your lap, or a baby that's going to stick an electric socket in its mouth or something, because if you're doing these algorithms and then you start to get stuck and you lose your place of where you're at, I've messed up these cubes so many times because of that, because I'm like, what? Why won't you move? And then, crap, where was I in my algorithm? So we only have one piece left, which is this. So I know for a fact it goes there, but which way does it go? That looks pretty good, but let's just test out this side here. And that's definitely not good. So, good, I get to do exactly what I just said. So now we know that's got to go there, so we do that algorithm backwards. So you move it away from where you're working. Right, U inverted, right inverted, U, the thing I just said was happening. Is happening, U inverted, front inverted, and U, and then front. Oh, for the love of Christ. Okay, so there. Hallelujah. We've got 2 of the 3 solved. Once again, at this point, if you feel free to just throw the thing in the garbage. You've got this far. I think you can call it a life. Okay, so now we got the bottom done, the middle done. Now we come up and we get to do the oh glorious top, which can also be a nightmare. It's a nightmare if you don't know where things go, but I'm gonna tell you to save you a world of hurt. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to take these 4 and put them the right way. Okay? So, how do we know what goes where? It's not obvious by looking at this. It's a little obvious, but not really. About the only thing we know for sure is that, remember when I showed you in the beginning, that tube-looking thing, that line? We know that that goes here. But we don't know, does this part go here or does that part go there? So I'm just going to tell you. There are 3 of these here that have points. Well, yeah. And then you got this little rectangle one here. So I'm going to tell you that for everything to be in the right spot, all the points have to be facing up. So on this guy, point needs to be facing up. On this guy, point facing up. On this guy, there's 2 points. So I'm going to tell you that the one, remember that divot that we were talking about earlier? That needs to be facing up. The Divot System for Solving the Ghost Cube by David Dravanak. And then this one, don't worry about it. The reason why you don't need to worry about it, because if these 3 are facing the right direction, this one has to be the right way. The only way that that would not be the case is if you had maybe done something where this trapezoid was down here. But if you'd used my system, there's no way that can happen, because I told you in the beginning, the one with the divot has to go on the top. So, since we know that the points need to be up. We got 2 that are right, but we got this guy, he's wrong. So what do we do then? Well, we do what's called a flipping algorithm. And that one is, what you do is you take a side that is facing the correct direction. And you put it to your left. Now, if you have 2 that are correct, then you want to kind of make a little L. Sort of like on the 3x3 when you have the 2 yellows kind of opposite here. It's basically that. But if you only have 1, then just make sure you have the one that's correct on the left side. And here's the algorithm. This is how I remember it. Okay? Imagine you're going to go grab a feral cat. Okay? If you grab it by the fur, you are fucked. That's how I remember. So, F, if you grab it by the, oh, let's get this on access, hold on. F, U, R, and then go the opposite direction. You are fucked. So, it's front, U, R, U inverted, R inverted, front inverted. Now what that should have done is flip everything the right way. So let's look. I've got the point is up, and that little divot is up, which means that this has to be the right way. So hallelujah! You've just solved the ghost cube. Now moving on to 3x3. Ooh, that's not right. All right, anyway. Okay, so now once you got them all in the right direction, the next step is we need to put them in the spot that they're supposed to go in. Okay? So to do that, we're going to use the SUUN algorithm, which you should also know from the 3x3, but I will tell you. First thing I want to do is, if you notice that any of these are already in the right spot, you want to put that towards you. Now, I don't know for sure. I mean, I do know that that's right, but it's not obvious for you. It won't be obvious. The only one you'll know for sure is in the right spot is if you have this tube one. If this line and this line match, and you know that the point is facing up, then that's correct. But let's assume you don't know that any of them are correct. Just pick any one. Face it towards you, and this is the algorithm you're going to do. It's right, U, right inverted. Oh, see, this is what I was talking about. U, right, to U, right inverted. Okay. Now we look at it and I see, does anything look like it's in the right spot? I still don't know. I still don't know for sure, so let's go ahead and let's do that again. Right, U, right invert. Are you kidding me? U, right, to U, there. Okay. Well, what I know for sure is this is right. Remember, we had already said that? And now that I look at it, everything else looks pretty good. That looks like it matches, that looks like it matches, that matches. But let's just say these other ones still didn't look right. You could always bring this towards you, because now you know that's right for sure. And you just keep doing the SUUN algorithm until all 3 of these pop in place. If you're doing that and it didn't work, then what has happened is you've either put this in the wrong spot, or you put this in the wrong spot, or you put this in the wrong spot. But using my patented divot system, that should not be possible. And now we come to the home stretch of this cube. Whew. Whew, this has been a long one. I hope you guys have used the fast forward button a lot. Okay, so we got 4 corners. We need to put them in the right spot, but where do they go? Well, luckily, we know, and I'm going to tell you, that just like on the bottom, this little pole looking thing, the 2 triangles go on either side, okay? So we know for a fact that I look at the top, I have to have a triangle here and a triangle here, but which one goes where? Well, remember earlier when I was trying to explain how the triangles look different? That one kind of looks pretty even, but we look at this guy and that's definitely the left is on the wrong side. So, using my memory tricks, I guess, not really. The one with the side that's on the left, that's longer, is going to go on the left of this cube. Okay? Which means that we know for a fact that this guy is in the right spot. He's just faced the wrong way. Or she. I don't want to be sexist. Now, what about these other pieces? How do I know if they're in the right spot? Well, just like if 3 of these are correct, then this one can't be wrong. If 2 of these are right, and you know that you have the right pieces up here, then the other 2 have to be right. The only way that won't work is if you use the wrong triangles on the bottom. But since we already know that we used the right ones, as long as I can get this triangle in here, these 2 guys are good. So now we're going to do another algorithm which rotates all these corners. And what you want to do is you want to find a corner that you know is right, which we know is right. But if you didn't know for sure, then just pick any corner until you get one that you know is right. But since I know that the left needs to go to the left, that means this other triangle has to go here. So now we're going to just rotate these 3 guys. So the algorithm for that is U, R, U inverted, L inverted, U inverted, R inverted, U inverted, L. Okay? It's sort of like there's a pattern to that. If you do after you do it a while, you'll see like it's kind of up, right? Like you're basically moving this guy, the top, back and forth, while you move the R. You move them both up, move them both down. But that was the algorithm. I'll put it in the description. So now I know because I said these 2 triangles are in the right spot. That means these 2 guys have to be in the right spot. If they're not, then what most likely happened is, see, yesterday I was practicing and my cat knocked my cube on the floor and I had to put all the pieces back. So if this doesn't solve right now, then the reason is because I popped the pieces in wrong. Yeah, it's not because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, now we've reached the final part of the puzzle. And to solve this, what we're going to do is we're going to pick a corner. If any of these had been oriented correctly, we would ignore that. But since all 4 of these are obviously not right, you pick any one. Start with one that you know is wrong, so we know that's not right. And we're going to do, I've heard a lot of people refer to this as like the down, down, up, up. Because it's not really an algorithm. It's more of a 4 series move that just gets these turned the right way. And the reason it's a 4 series move is you have to do all 4. Even if you do 3 of the moves and this pops into place, if you don't do that last move, the whole thing will be jacked up. So what that is basically it's an R inverted, and then it's a D. See, that's why people just say it down, down, up, up. Because it's a D. Which one is it though? Is that D inverted or is that D the other way? I always get so confused. So let's just say down, down, up, up. Anyway, have your top here, middle here. You go down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up. And you just keep doing this until it pops into place. But see right there, it popped into place, but don't forget to do that last up. So once you got one solved, you're just gonna move a different corner that's obviously not solved into place and do it again. Down, down, up, up, down, down, up. That's solved, but you gotta make sure to do that last one. Bring another corner in, down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, up. All right. I've confused myself. Okay, hold on. Down, down, up. Oh, thank the Lord. I thought for sure I'd messed up. Uh-oh. Did I mess up? Oh, crap. That'd be a great way to end this video. Is for it not to work. Down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, up. All right. I think I may have screwed up because the hell? What the hell is going on? What is going on? Okay. Because it's solved. I can wipe the sweat off my brow. That last set of moves is usually where I fuck up. It's such an easy move, and yet you get distracted or you lose your spot. And because what's scary about when you do that move is the entire cube gets jacked up. Like as you're doing it, you'll start to freak out like, oh my God, this whole thing is fucked. But if you continue to do the 4 sequence all the way till all those corners are done, it'll all fix itself, trust me. So there you go. That is the very long, elaborate, way too detailed description of how to solve a ghost cube. But if you can't solve it after that, then you just shouldn't even try. That's my 2 cents. And with that, folks, I am done. Feel free to leave comments, and I won't read them because I'm sure I'm just going to get a whole bunch of shitty comments from assholes. Although if you leave a nice comment, I will be able to read it. I got an app that filters out the douchebag comments and only lets me see the good ones. So, yeah. So if you have something nice to say, don't feel like I won't read it. I'll see it. But if you have something shitty to say, it'll just get deleted by this app that I have. If you want to buy it, it's called Douche Remover, $9.99. Also, be sure to buy my book, The Divot System, for solving a ghost cube. Okay, anyway, I'm done.